Well, anyway, this is what I wanted to show you because it is considered by many to be the most famous tree in all of Texas.
Okay.
This is the famous hanging tree of Goliad County. It was a site of extrajudicial executions. In other words, this is where they lynched Mexicans.
How many Mexicans were?
Some say 80, 90, 100, but we really don't even know. And of course, on the other side of there is the famous whipping post, where they would tie Mexicans and other people, blacks, and whip them for transgressions against the social order. Over there, we have a tree where it is said that they hung the blacks because, I don't know, it's kind of crazy. Even, you know, in Texas, we had standards. You can't lynch a black person from the same tree that you lynch a brown person. You know, it just ain't fitting. It ain't fitting. It just ain't fitting.
So, right.
So yeah, so they, I mean, this is the kind of crazy racism that fueled all this. And why? It was economics. And it was also the fact that they wanted our land. In fact, they came here to take our land, and they were very successful. It's a tourist thing now here. Everything's named Hanging Tree around here. But, I mean, when you really think about it, it should give you the creeps. Back then, of course, a hanging was a big community event. Little boys would climb into the adjacent trees to get a good view. People would bring picnic baskets. They would make a day out of it. It was like a big jovial affair. Of course, this is for the white people. The black people and Mexicans weren't going to come to this because they were the object of it was to instill terror in their lives.
This is, I mean, this is horrible. You know?
Yeah, it is horrible. It is what it is. It is what it is.
The events that took place here in Goliad weren't unique. Over the next 70 years, there were 871 documented lynchings of Mexican Americans in 13 western states. And yet the violence found in the rest of the Southwest didn't compare to the horror of South Texas. In a single decade, from 1910 to 1920, historians estimate as many as 5,000 Mexican Americans were murdered in a brutal wave of terror and mass executions. In proportion to their numbers, Mexicans were lynched in the West as often as blacks were lynched in the South.
Shalom. This is the brother Igdaliah, Banya Sharala, coming at you with another quick lesson through the Spirit. First and foremost, I like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Harakah Kwadash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone who rule well, the men I've learned this 100% truth from, and salutations to the Akim, pushing this truth across the four winds of the earth in all truth and sincerity. Barakathum. Now, the video you just witnessed is proof that these Edomites hate you so-called Mexicans, who are really Israelites from the tribe of Issachar, okay? When these devils were lynching you, they would have a big community gathering to come and view the lynchings. You heard the narrator say that over the next 70 years, there were 871 documented lynchings of you so-called Mexicans in 13 western states. That is what you call pure evil, okay? These devils was killing you off in large numbers to steal your land. How much more proof do you need to understand that these devils hate you Issacharites just as much as they hate the so-called Negro tribes, okay? But you Issacharites still wear rosary beads and crosses on your neck, big murals of fake white Jesus on the walls in your homes, believing in the false deity that don't exist. That's why when Yahweh Shah returns for judgment, he gonna kill off a large portion of you Israelites from the northern kingdom because you are heavy into idolatry. You heavily believe in fake white Jesus, just like a lot of these wicked niggas from the southern kingdom, okay? And fake white Jesus is never coming back to take vengeance on your enemies for what's been done to you because he don't exist, okay? But Yahweh Shah is coming back to avenge all the Israelite blood that has been spilled at the hands of these devils. and I'm going to prove it in the scriptures. So the first precept I'm going into, which I'm going to read out of the Good News Translation, will be out of the book of Ezekiel, chapter 32, starting at verse 3. Ezekiel 32, verse 3. When many nations gather, I will catch you in my net and let them drag the net ashore. And many nations is referring to the Israelites because Israelites have been scattered into all nations across the four corners of the earth. Okay? And these will more than likely be the elect men of Israel that the Lord is going to give spiritual power to hunt you devils that's going to be trying to hide in them underground bunkers. You are not escaping the Lord's judgment. Okay? Ezekiel 32 verse 3, once again, when many nations gather, I will catch you in my net and let them drag the net ashore. So the elect men of Israel that the Lord is going to give spiritual power to are going to drag you devils out your hiding spots so you can face judgment. Point blank, period. All right. Verse 4, I will throw you out on the ground and bring all the birds and animals of the world to feed on you. I will cover mountains and valleys with your rotting corpse. I will pour out your blood until it spreads over the mountains and fills the streams. That's the righteous judgment the Lord is going to bring upon you devils, and you more than deserve it. Okay? The Lord is going to have mountains and rivers filled with Edomite blood, and a multitude of Edomite corpses the Lord is going to give to the fowls of the air and the beasts of the field to devour. These animals going to get fat off Edomite flesh in the day of the Lord's vengeance. All right? Now, the next precept I'm going into will be out of the book of Zechariah, chapter 2, verse 7. Zechariah 2, verse 7. Deliver thyself, O Zion, that dwellest with the daughter of Babylon. And the daughter of Babylon is America. Okay? And who is Zion? Zion in the Paleo-Hebrew is Tazayawan, which is a monument, a mountain in Jerusalem that represents the Israelites. Okay? And the only way an Israelite will be delivered out of America, Babylon the Great, is if you are part of the elect. Point blank, period. All right? Verse 8, Zechariah 2, verse 8. For thus said the Lord of hosts, after the glory hath he sent me unto the nations which spoiled you. For he that toucheth you touches the apple of his eye. That's right, man. And the apple of his eye means that the Israelites are the Lord's precious possession. And the Lord loves the northern kingdom, you so-called Spanish-speaking tribes, just as much as he loved the southern kingdom, which is the so-called Negro tribes. We are the apple of the Lord's eye. Okay? And the Lord is long-suffering. He let Esau get away with all this bloodshed. So when Yahushua returns for judgment, the only way these devils can repay all that bloodshed and murder is by Yahushua spilling their blood, which I just read out of Ezekiel, the 32nd chapter. Okay? Now, the next precept I'm going into will be out of the book of Amos, chapter 1, verse 11. Amos 1, verse 11. Thus saith the Lord, for 3 transgressions of Edom, and for 4, I would not turn away the punishment thereof, because he did pursue his brother with the sword, and did cast off all pity, and his anger did tear perpetually, and he kept his wrath forever. That's right, man. The video you seen pertaining to this lesson is a prime example of Esau pursuing Jacob with the sword in the form of being lynched. And that happened back in the 1800s, well up until now, because some Jakes are still being found hung from trees here and there. Okay? These devils have an everlasting burning desire of hatred for the Israelites. It's a fetish for Esau to murder Jake. But the big payback is coming. Like the elder Manata Zakba of South Carolina has said, in Shalom to the elder, he said the Lord gonna set a world record in one day for murder, death, kills when he returns for judgment, especially for you damn Edomites. All right? Verse 12. Amos 1 verse 12. But I will send a fire upon Teman, which shall devour the palaces of Basra. That's right, man. And Basra was a place in Mount Seir where Edom lived. And Basra today will be anywhere Edomites dwell, particularly here in America, Babylon the Great. Okay? Because the Lord is going to send the most harsh judgment here, the thermonuclear missiles, to destroy these Edomites for what they've done to the Israelites. All right? Now, the next precept I'm going into will be out of the book of Psalms, Psalm chapter 72, verse 4. Psalm 72, verse 4. He shall judge the poor of the people. He shall save the children of the needy and shall break in pieces the oppressor. That's right, man. The Lord is returning to bring justice to the Israelites, and he's going to break you devils in pieces by the severe, harsh judgment he's about to bring on you. And also through his elect men, he's going to give spiritual power to get revenge for what you've done. Okay? You can read that in the book of Jeremiah, chapter 53, verses 19 through 25. Okay? You Edomites are fucked. The Lord is returning with anger, wrath, and fury to shed massive amounts of Edomite blood. Thus says the Bible. All right? So with that being said, I hope this lesson was edifying to the hopeful elect. I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Harakah Kwadash. Lord willing, until the next lesson, Shalom, Wa Ababa Ba, Kwam Yasharallah.